All right, so I'm in actually like one of my favorite places in Edwardsville for sure. I love coming here. All right, front camera time. And then how cool is this? I can sit like off this ledge. Anyway, so I wanted to make this kind of a part two to my religion video. Uh, I I felt like after I made the video, a lot of the times after I make videos, I think of things that I wish I had said, and most of the time they're little things but sometimes I do want to say them in a video, and I want to actually make a video out of it and elaborate on it. I'm kind of a little bit nervous right now because if I drop my phone, it's going in this lake. Maybe I should sit back a little bit just in case. I have to jump in there. Anyway, yeah, so whenever I was growing up, so I grew up religious. I grew up religious, and like my family isn't that religious anyway. Like they like I have family members that believe in God and everything, but most of them, they don't really talk about it much. It's not really a huge part of their life. It's not a very significant part of their life. But I was still taught to pray as I was growing up. And, I definitely remember like going to the temple as a kid and going there and praying and just listening to my mom describe. Okay, so this is Hinduism. I'm describing Hinduism here. Describe kind of what each god represents, what they're supposed to kind of take care of in your life, like wealth, studies. Studies is an important thing in Asian culture. Just different aspects like that. And so whenever I was I go into the temple, and I would go there and I would pray, and I would think about those things like, I want to be successful with this. Honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, a lot of the times whenever I was there at the temple, I was thinking about like what girl I wanted to like me or whatever. And I was asking God that because I thought, it would help. But anyway, yeah, so I was praying like that. I was kind of asking for those things. And like I said, I never felt atheism really. But it was just kind of like a falling off of religion, I would say. The little religion that I did have that was a part of me. And I kind of actually talked to my mom about this recently. She said like, even whenever I was a kid, I really never really talked about it. I just went with the flow, And I know there's other like kids in our family and stuff. It's more significant for them. It's a more significant part of their life. And but yeah, I just kind of went with the flow. And that's how I kind of felt at the time. I was like, I don't know really how I feel about this, but my whole family's doing it. I'm just going to go with it. I don't see the problem in just going with it. But, oh, Jesus, fly. That probably looks stupid, but, yeah, so then eventually it just kind of fell off. I just kind of stopped praying in middle school because I was like, I don't really need to. I started to get to the point like, why am I really doing this? I would just do it a lot of the times whenever my parents would ask me to, or like in front of them, or mostly just in front of my parents to make them feel better. That I was like keeping up with it. But then, yeah, I knew like I didn't really believe in it in myself, because I just started to kind of feel like if there is a creator, I just need to live in a way that, I say this a lot, but is respectable to all life. I wasn't thinking that at the time, but I probably had other words for it. But just, living well, treating, your surroundings well. And I thought, really, if I was a creator, that would be sufficient enough for me, for a human being to act in the appropriate and loving way. not to spend time worshiping or to spend time enforcing doctrine on myself or others around me, and making judgments, I guess I could say. That's how I started to feel. Really, I just started to question, like why am I doing this? Like, I would sit there like with my hands together in front of, the statues or the religious things, and I would just think, like, why am I doing this? I don't, like, eventually I would just be sitting there with no thoughts in my head. I wouldn't actually be praying. And once I realized that, I was like, okay, like, I just need to stop doing this. And eventually, my parents could just kind of tell, like, I wasn't into it. And like I said, they're not very religious, so it wasn't a huge deal for them, but they did grow up with it. It is something that they've had their whole life, and they still do feel like it would be better for me to believe in God. So yeah, but I kind of wanted to relate that with my more recent endeavors of there's a bee or wasp or something. My more recent endeavors of meditation. And honestly, you can think of that, like I said, like, it seems like something that is so simple, yet what I love about it is that it can be seen in so many different ways. And one of those ways is this kind of concept of, well, meditation in a way could be seen as a brother to prayer, in that you're trying to be silent, you're trying to just observe yourself and your surroundings without any impediments of thought, without any of your own self-created psychological drama of thoughts and emotions. You're just trying to, you could really describe it as you're trying to appreciate the creation, yourself as a piece of creation and the creation around you. You could see it, you could see it as trying to observe and appreciate the Creator's work. I think that's really a significant way to view it. And there's meditations like meditating on love, meditating on peace. And honestly, those things seem really similar to me. Similar to a lot of prayers, because okay, so this is one aspect I wanted to say about prayer too. I felt that it was kind of dumb, like personally for myself, that it seems like I'm only thinking about God or going to God whenever I want something, whenever I need something, whenever something's bad or I want something good, then I'm going to God and asking for it. Well, that seems like, I was talking about in my religion video, bad reasons to practice religion. That seems like a bad reason to practice religion. And I'm not saying all religious people do that. Hopefully, it's a small majority. But that's kind of what it was becoming for me. And it seems like you're just trying to take away some responsibility that you have for your own life and put it in some sort of external entity. And, well, that can be good or bad, You can, like I said, you can take solace in the idea that God has a plan for you. Or, you can blame things on God. You can feel that, I kind of lost my train of thought there. You can feel that this external entity is responsible for a lot of the significant things in your life. And yeah, like I said, you ask for things, or you try to ward off harmful things through praying to God. And I know, that's supposed to be a beneficial aspect of it. God's supposed to protect you and God's love and everything. But I guess a more, I guess I could say sincere way to do it, I think, would be to try to appreciate God, try to extend your love for God, But really, I mean, what you can really do is extend your love or appreciation for the creation, for the creation around you. Because, and I'm glad that a lot of Christians have kind of agreed with me on this, that the source of creation is all around us. The source of creation is within me and you, and it's all around us. So if you truly love God, then you should be loving, because God is a part of everything. It's the essence of it. The essence of every single thing in the universe of the creation is of the Creator or of God. So being loving is appreciating God in that way, extending your love for God in that way. And like I was saying, back to my original train of thought, there's meditations for love, there's meditations for peace. And well, those seem very similar to me as prayers that extend appreciation towards God and kind of like this reverence, I guess you could say, and kind of just being very, I'm thinking like a good example of this is a lot of people, they pray before they eat, right? They do that specific thing, and they're kind of thankful for the food that they've been provided with. And so that seems similar to me. And I think, even if you want to look at it in a scientific perspective, that's probably going to elicit the same sort of chemical response within your brain in terms of just how you feel, I really think you could look at it in terms of a chemical, physical perspective as well. Even if you don't want to consider the supernatural or anything, of course, at least we can see that there's research done on people that practice gratitude every day. I think, I don't want to boost myself too much, but I know one of my strengths is being grateful. I'm a pretty grateful person, I think. And I do feel that every day. So I've never really even had to practice that. It kind of comes naturally to me. And I like feeling it. I feel like, it's not even something I feel like I have to do. I mean, I spontaneously want to feel it. It's an attractive thing to me because it feels great. It feels great, and there's no downsides to it. And I'm really getting off topic. I'm just thinking about so many different things. But like in my Heartbreak and Love video, I was saying it's better for you not to internalize that as like this person did this to me, or this person did this horrible thing to me. Because if you can learn how to somehow turn that into a feeling of gratitude, appreciation, thankfulness for the experience that you had with that person, well, that's great, because you're extending good feelings to that person. Really, I mean, how can you feel, I have something great to say about this. How can you feel bad about anyone that says thank you to you? I mean, someone saying thank you to you, that's really just a good thing for you, and it's great for that other person because they feel thankful. They feel like they've received something great. And that's not always the case with these sort of things, because think about whenever you say sorry to someone, well, that can quickly turn into a situation of pity, and there's certain negative aspects that can come out of that. But with gratitude or being thankful, it really is mutually beneficial, and that's wonderful in that way. Kind of like love, it's just something that, it's a tick. It's something that really can't go wrong. So that's good. Fuck these bugs. They're not bothering me at all. I'm still thinking, I'm still flowing. I like that. So I was talking about, the chemicals, and we have scientific research that shows that practicing gratitude is really good for you. It's really good for you mentally and emotionally, and it does change your brain chemistry significantly, especially if you practice it every day over the long term. And these prayers, whether they be formalized religious prayers, something from the Bible, or whatever they pray out of, I don't really know. Or a meditation of love or of peace, just trying to practice love, because that's significant. You do have conscious control over that. It's not just a feeling that you get. I think that's very easy to that's what makes me great for this YouTube channel, because I'm an overthinker and my brain goes all over the place, and that gives me stuff to talk about. Anyway, that's very easy to feel with these romantic relationships, because, well, that's driven by hormones, a lot of it. You don't really have to work to feel sexual most of the time, you know, especially as teenagers or 20s or whatever. You don't have to work to feel sexual. It's very spontaneous, and so those love feelings, you know, you get are going to come pretty quickly as well. But this sort of just being loving by your own nature and extending that love towards every little thing around you, just I'm going to sound like a really like hippie, like spiritual person. I know some people probably make fun of me for this or think I'm this type of person where, oh, I love everything around me and I'm in some dream la la land. You know, I'm not grounded in reality. I just am like that all the time. But no, but I'm gonna sound a little bit like that right now. This sort of just feeling loving for every single thing around you. It doesn't have to be a specific thing or person. You just are loving by your own nature. That's just the emotion you exude. You feel it for everything. Just a blade of grass. I don't want to say more because I'm just gonna sound, you know, like that stereotype. But that's how I feel. And you know, fuck you guys who make fun of me for that, because if you feel it, you would completely throw out that making fun of that stereotype, because it's something I've never experienced before in my life. Like I said, in the summer with meditation, just what I started to feel, it was, you wouldn't believe some of the things that happen with meditation. Not just that, some of the weird things with consciousness too that you experience. I can make a video on this too, special effects of meditation. I think I will one time. I don't really know how to describe it. It's just kind of a subjective thing, but it's still very interesting. There's so much to say. What was I talking about? Okay, yeah, so that feeling, there's just euphoric feeling. It was just euphoria for no reason. And it wasn't, you know, ungrounded, compulsive euphoria, you know. There's some, like mania, not like that. Not like mania with bipolar. It was grounded. It was just a genuine euphoria for no reason. Just for no reason. Just for being alive. And as soon as you feel that, as soon as you touch that experience, there's absolutely no questions about living, where you're trying to, what you're trying to achieve with life. You know, whenever I say life, I'm trying to separate that from the world, separate that from getting a career, having kids, getting a house, these milestones, you know. I'm separating it from that, and just you as a human being, just your experience of life and how you progressed in that way. I know that probably might seem very general, but it is a general thing, because really that's the most fundamental thing. Like I said, in consciousness, it's everything. And so whenever you hit that point, you never have questions, really. You never have questions about where you're trying to go. You want to maintain that for the whole time. You want to maintain that love for life, because I mean, life is the only thing that you can say yes to. You know what I mean? You can say life is always there, no matter what. Relationships are going to come and go. Opportunities, careers are going to come and go. Sports are going to come and go. Your age is going to come and go. But life is always there until you're dead. So learning how to appreciate life and having a love just for life, that's really the most important thing to me, you know, as a human being. And that's going to benefit everyone around you and everything around you as well. So yeah, like I said, and Aubrey was kind of mentioning in the religion video, I said Aubrey said this, she just feels euphoria for being alive while she goes on a run. That's similar to what I'm talking about. That is really what I'm talking about. Just, can you hit this sort of state where you're just joyful by yourself, by your own nature? And that's yeah, once you hit that, you can't describe it to anyone. You can't just give it to anyone. They have to attain it for themselves. And you know it's something different. And you just know it's the best. It's the best experience of life that you can have. It's not dependent on anyone else. You yourself have achieved it. Yeah, so I guess prayer and meditation can be very good facilitators of that. They can be very good tools to use to try to attain that. And that's why I do think on an individual level, well, there's definitely religious people that can make significant strides in this progress as a human being. And because, and I'm going to say, you know, whether they're conscious of it or not, they can be more spiritual by being religious, because they're just learning how to live better. They're learning how to be more loving or appreciative through prayers or through practice of the religion. So that's kind of nice. But those aren't mutually, I don't know if I'm using this right, mutually exclusive or mutually inclusive. Basically what I mean is, you know, that's not always going to go together. Just because you're religious, of course, you know, that doesn't mean you're going to obtain that. You know, some people, they can become the opposite by becoming religious. They can become more judgmental, more hateful, more discriminatory. I think that's one of the things, you know, man, I really, that's one of my pet peeves about religion, the discrimination, because it really makes no sense. It's so ironic that some religious people, they become more discriminatory, or they become more exclusive once they're religious, because you have this framework or this standard of what is acceptable in the eyes of God. And then if someone doesn't fit that, then you look down upon them. And that's so contradictory and bad and just horrible and sad. Oh, damn, I kind of rhymed there. That it's kind of turned into that. You know, you're not looking at things as everyone is a part or has a piece or the essence of God in them. And everyone is a small part of the creation. And you should feel them just as you know? You should feel like... I think one thing I've really tried to do, and one thing I've started to feel, is I felt another person as myself. You know, that's something I said in Heartbreak and Love. And well, that's easier with a partnership, with a romantic relationship, but it's feeling someone else as a part of yourself. It's extending yourself beyond the boundaries of just, you know, what's actually you physically. It's feeling other people as yourself, other animals as yourself. Because then you'll naturally treat it with a certain sense of inclusiveness and a certain sense of love. And that's really invaluable. That's really invaluable. That's it.